Shout out to Michael Watts too, man. I ain't even know that boy had passed till a couple of days ago, man. Shout out to old DJ 5000 Michael Watts, man. You know, I'm a screw man myself, but I ain't got nothing against old Mike, man. You know, get that shit straightened out real quick. You know, just different preference. I'm more of a screw dude, man. You know, but I do want to salute, you know, what he put down in the city. Shout out to the whole Swisher House camp, man. You know, ain't no, north and south with me. I'm a south sider, but you know, we been got all that dumb shit. So yeah, shout out to Michael Watts, man. Something comes to me, I don't want to take too much time. I want to just see what come to mind when I see what I can pull down from old Watts. I do appreciate all the nights, the Sunday nights that he held a nigga down in that jailhouse though, cause you perfect. Since I'm talking jail shit, boy, I ain't named this shit. I'm gonna have to give this a name. I'm gonna call him Vulcan Raven. Maybe. But now, let me show you how we can take this, because it broke down to you how the pig became synonymous with black because of its appetite, its propensity to absorb a lot. We'll just put it like that. Just like blackness absorbs light or whatever. Now I can show you a version of that. And we wouldn't necessarily consider it greed. But greed is one thing. But if you take a person who ain't ate in like 4 days, and then you finally put some food in front of them, they're going to eat like a madman, probably. It happened to me before. When I was a kid, I don't know what the fuck had happened, but, you go back and forth between mom and daddy and shit after they break up. I know I had, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't even remember. All I remember, when I got back with my pops, when mama brought me the mall, man, we went to McDonald's and I don't know what the fuck was going on with my mama. Shout out to my mama, but it must have been some bullshit. I know when I was probably about like 6 or 7 or something. I know when I got back there with my pops, and we went to McDonald's. Man, I just sat there and was man, I ate so many hamburgers. You would think, oh, that's a greedy little kid. Like, no, motherfucker, I haven't eaten. I don't even know what the fuck was going on. I just remember that. That's all I remember is going to McDonald's and eating burger after burger after burger after burger because the nigga hadn't eaten. Yeah. Niggas really just. But yeah. Now, when I got locked up, first you go to the county. Now the county, you got a radio, but you don't control the channels. So it's like, you like 4 different channels you can go through for the whole tank or whatever. So those 4 might be the urban station, 3 other ones. Or it might, but someday we didn't get the box and all that shit. So, or 102 or whatever. So we didn't always have music in there. At least music we listened to, or I was into or whatever. But shit, these days, hell, the Hispanic shit, hell, I find myself grooving to that shit these days. I be going to the Mexican store that shit be coming on, shit be actually jamming. I might not know the words, but shit moves my body. So, yeah, but yeah, we up in that motherfucker, man. Well, so we was already you got that. Then you got you have Street Flavor, which was the video like our video segment that we got down here. That came on every Saturday or whatever, like right before it's time to rack up. So that's pretty much all we had for music. Then when you leave there, you go to a transfer facility, which is where you go and wait to be shipped to whatever unit you're going to or whatever facility. They don't have radios there. Then when you finally get to where you're gonna do most of your time at, that's where you can get a radio. So when I finally got to give and got the radio, well, I didn't have my own radio. My silly had a radio. Man, shout out to Mighty Mouse. That boy was my SA, my San Antonio SA, cool nigga. But you know, so I knew he like, man, he had already been there. So with me, the music, a big thing to me, because I ain't heard music like that in a while. It had been like a year outside of Soul Train, and even that shit got kind of tricked with. We had Soul Train, then it used to be Soul Train, then Street Flavor. But then Street Flavor, they pushed that shit back like an hour to like after we was racked up. It used to be at 12. And then we racked up at 12. Some shit like that. Anyway, they ended up changing it to where that shit came on after we was already supposed to be cut the TVs off and shit. So even that didn't last long when when I got to the transfer facility or whatever. So by the time I finally, man, look, when I say, man, when that nigga let me get them headphones, I had to be at work. We'd get up for work at the furniture factory like about 5 in the morning or some shit like that. 6, about 5:30. Man, when I tell you I hadn't heard music in so long, it was just like going without eating for a while, then finally eating. Because I could not turn the fucking radio off and go to sleep. I sat there from about 7 at night to just till it was time to go to work, just music out. I couldn't. The same songs over and over. I ain't heard of this shit. But I couldn't put the goddamn headphones down because I was absorbing all the shit that I had been missing. So that can be that kind of reminds me of, because I'm not a greedy person per se, but if we had to go on to a psychological level to. Because like I say, eating pork is bad, it is, but all that shit, but we don't want to go all the way and say the pig is just fucked up period, because we do have shit where the pig does represent blackness, but at the same time it does have negative qualities. So with all this shit, you can if you do call somebody a pig based off of their greedy, selfish mentality, then that's valid as well. Let me read this part right here. Ancient East Blight of the World. The black goat, the black pig, and the black cat are all Typhonian types of the same symbolic value as the black boar or soot or apap dragon. Now, in each case, representative of dark and evil power, in each case, the representative of dark and evil power was slain or thrown into the water as propitiation to beneficial power, into the water as propitiation to the beneficial power that gave the rain. Slaying the type of drought was a means of fighting against the power of evil and making an appeal to the good spirit. It was primitive. It was a primitive mode of casting out Satan, the adversary, in practical sign language. Now, this doesn't mean that. See that, and that's the origin of the black cat being bad and all that shit. But that's not necessarily the case, because black cats are actually cool too, but they can't be seen. You can just based off the blackness though, because the black cat itself is not fucked up, which is what he's trying to break down in the beginning of the book. But and I'm gonna show you something else about the cats, just if I can find it. But in all actuality, the cat, I've never seen the cat. That's what I'm saying with this right here. It says the black cat are all Typhonian type. Now, Typhonian, you got soot. We can just use as a soot or set when you want to look at it from just the scientific aspect of it. But then the soot typhon is when you get into the moral aspect of it, like the evil, negative, whatever. But even with the black cat, I'll say this much for the cat right here. And everything has its negative and positive, but the black cat, even that, you can say it based off the darkness and darkest set and all that right there. But black cats, I would get a black cats are not. That's why you see the witch, or and witchdom is nothing more than another way of saying black girl magic. That's all that shit is. It's just a witch, bitch, female dog, the dog star, Sirius, a woman of the dog star, or priestess of the dog star, Sirius. Bitch, witch, all that shit is the same shit. Just the word got stigmatized. Now, do you have wicked will, fucked up witches? Yep, yeah, that too. People that try to do, who use this shit for evil or whatever. You had that too. But I've seen something too. You wouldn't want to be one of those guys, I'm telling you. Especially these days. That's not what I was looking for though. Oh, yeah, the black pig was slain just as Apap was pierced because it was imaged in the dark power. Because it imaged the dark power that once withheld the waters of day, and now denies the rain or the water of life. That's what I was trying to tell you. The She-Hawk Tion, the Hog Tion. You got a pair of deities called the She-Hawk and Denshi, which goes back to the night I did when I did the video in August. I watched the More Than Woman video, and that's when I saw Dianese on the leg, or it's D, and the leg is Dianese or something like that. But that's what I was telling y'all about the Dianese, the Dionysian cult, which is just another version of Osiris or whatever. All the women, that's what they were trying to portray in the, what's that shit? Queen of the Damn shit. But it was the white man version of it. We don't eat people and drink blood and shit. That's their thing. That's that's part of the movie. That's why I don't like the movie, because they have her in the movie like she's some type of fucking vampire that needs blood. This no, she is a Akasha. She represents that energy. That energy is the energy you see. Not even that though. Not even the back. Because they got her as she's acting, so they got her playing the bad guy role or the bad girl role, or whatever. Witch's ritual. Name her Akasha. First and foremost, she's of the energy. So that's like they got a fuck. I don't hate to give them this, but I'll say it so much. So they got a pristine representation of a black goddess, or a pristine example, which would be baby girl. I hate him, but so the energy that they fighting against, are they trying to attack via this movie? They were able to get a pristine representation of that energy, and they named the Akasha. Akashic records is the medulla oblongata. That's the subconscious mind. When you get when you go and see a psychic, they weight in gold, and they give you a psychic reading. That's what they're reading from. When that's why I was saying when Max unfiling the goddamn mask off his mouth, he was waking up the subconscious so that he can speak that which is of old, from that's been buried in the back. It was prophesied that the ancient knowledge would rise back up in future times, back when we fell, which is what's going on right now. But in order for that to happen, we have to go into that genetic memory bank, wake that up, then take off the mask so you can speak the shit. It's called the opening of the mouth ceremony. The bar medal is a part of the opening of the ceremony. What he had around his mouth, a mouth. He used a metal file to take the mask off, and he had a metal mask with a trident. The trident, remember, it's about water, and Joe holding all the water and shit. But Mad Max, that's why he had the trident over his mouth, because the trident is Poseidon is the staff of Poseidon, the trident, which is representative of water. Poseidon is the lord of water. So him taking off the mask or removing the trident meant that the trident over his mouth meant that the words were the holy word would be the waters of life, so to speak. So by making her the villain and naming her Akasha, when you go into a movie, we automatically are programmed to side with the protagonist or who's presented as the protagonist. But this is a movie, and in the movies, what's presented to you as the protagonist in the movie may not necessarily be so in reality. So I was telling y'all about X-Men Apocalypto. That's me. I'll tell you that shit. With me and Pop, I say when a nigga was saying, when you're having a conversation, and like I said, because I always, when I came into this information, and then especially coming into the knowledge of who I am personally, I started to think about all them songs with Pac was like, Lord, where you at? And, when he does cry, but do the Lord care? But that's because he was speaking to a mystery God, some shit that we was tricked into believing. So when I started reflecting on that shit, I was like, damn, I was here with you when you was doing all the cry, just trying to speak to the Lord, but I was asleep because I didn't have a knowledge of who I was. So just like Apocalypto told the nigga in the movie, when the movie was like, man, where you been, man? We been eating you and woo. And nigga said, I was asleep. Apocalypto is Christ. He's the shit that they taught in church. They talking about, we waiting for the Lord to come back and all this, which is me and everybody who partaking in knowledge. But that's why this shit is called Apocalypto, apocalypse. When he comes, bullshit can't stand no more. So we're not talking about buildings falling and smoke everywhere and fire, But the calamity that you do see in the institutions falling, the shit that's been pitted against us falling slowly but surely, is what you see, is what all those buildings and all that shit collapsing and shit means or whatever. But he was the good guy. The X-Men was on bullshit. But that's how they play the movie. They'll take that part of the Christ that they scared of, they'll take the Christ image, the hero, put on the good side. And then the potent part of it that they scared of, they put that with the villain. And they made him the villain. So mentally, everybody's going to go against the villain, whether you conscious or subconscious. That's why you with the conscious or subconscious. So when you go to a movie, they programming you to already be against that which is coming. Or was by the time that movie came, I was here, but I knew by then, because I remember when I saw the movie, I said, oh, that's me and Pac. Because I had these, before I saw the movie, I thought like that. I was already thinking like that. Like, damn, nigga was doing all that screaming for the Lord, but I was right here on earth with the nigga. And so when I saw the scene and the nigga said I was asleep, I said, that's right on point, because that Pac, two apocalypse now, apocalypto. Come on, man. This shit is real in the field. So take that back, the same thing with Baby Girl. And then we supposed to can factor in the surface level shit, which is the old, take the white man taking your woman and raping her in front. Now, they ain't raping in the movie, but they don't have to do that. Just the fact of taking this divine being, presenting her as one in the movie, but then having her love interest or having the black love interest shouting on the fucking statue next to her, which really they both supposed to have been. You can look at this old salary and shit, but no, we talking about redemption. That's why I said you go in Max. What she say, redemption. 4-page letter video, you gonna see redemption in that video in red letters. So that was an attack. I don't know if, and I can show you the signs in it and all that shit, but the mere fact that you got they didn't make the, like I said, the love interest is white dude, and he's supposed to be Dionysus, but he's fucked up because Dionysus is a ladies' man. But they got him killing the goddamn girls and shit. That's the bullshit. That's white folk shit. That's them. Their vampiric ways. And you know what I'm saying? And then a nigga named Amel, which is just another version of my name without the S. These folks, but that's not me. Don't confuse me with that dumb shit. Vampire shit ain't nothing but, look, they gotta eat. The real Dracula is what I've been showing you just now. What the real concept of the Draco's particle is. With vampires, they say they suck the blood. This is the life. This is the spiritual blood. This is the vampire Dracula. This the coffin. Dracula sits in the coffin. They talking about the Dracula particle, the light. Not eating motherfuckers, because we don't have to do that. They do that. We're like drugs to them. So spiritual shit we can obtain just by being us. If you tapped in, they have to eat niggas like the million and get a high off of us to get that some type of spiritual breakthrough. But it is just like anything else. Once that shit wear off, it wear off. But when that goes up, the light is sucked in or sucked up in order for the creation process to start. That's the real Dracula, the cape. See it? Cape. You'll see. I saw you see Baby Girl in the video. She gonna have that black cape on. Look to redeem some shit around here. Cause that movie was not a good look at all. And I seen the signs in it. I still can see the bullshit of what they was doing. And what's coming down the pipe since I've been tapping into the energy is watch that video though, because let me say this first. I'm noticing a pattern. It's always, okay, celebrity dies, major celebrity dies. They were supposed to go here. Big was supposed to go to London. I had some type of meeting in London and shit. And Leah had some type of meeting she was supposed to be going to before she passed. Nip had some shit he was supposed to be going to do before he got bumped off and shit. I'm looking at this pattern. I'm like, okay. What did them show you how this shit? Like I said, I don't want to. I'll let you decide for yourself. But I'll tell you, look at this. The meeting already happened, or whatever the fuck. The meeting is whatever the meeting is. Whatever the fuck. They get presented with some shit before the meeting, the quote unquote meeting. And once the folks see that you're not down with their agenda, because she had so much shit lined up, I'm gonna wait to get into that later, but she had a lot of shit lined up. Now when I'm looking at the whole plate, she had a lot of other shit lined up for her that they was gonna give her for Hollywood or whatever. But did she pass? She had all the other shit lined up because it's just like we know now. Okay, we'll give you all this shit right here if you do this. If you do this, you're gonna have this lined up and that and that and that. And motherfucker like, oh no, I ain't with that. Motherfucker start dying. That's why I said, go watch. I'm over that. But if you just get in your search and you put in the lead interviews and shit like that, you'll run into go on your own. But before I go into my spiel on it, I probably want to wait a little bit further down the line before I get into what I gathered. Because I was just kind of freestyling. But over the last past couple of days, I went and watched some on it yesterday, and right when they got to the part where her funeral came, it started raining like a motherfucker. So that's how I know that, I already knew she in the building, but she just, yeah. I didn't like that shit. I don't like how that went. I don't like none of that shit shit that went happen with her. Like I said, ain't no way in fucking here. Like, even the nigga that said, the nigga say, man, and which he was right, and this how you know it's real. This how you know it's real in the field. Now I always see, she always was special. Don't get that twisted. But even, she never really, the magnitude you see some of these artists on now, she was, I'm trying to say it the right way because she did her thing, but she was all, like I say, she's a mysterious type of energy. So it was never just like, oh, she would come out and do her shit, and everybody, if you love Aaliyah, don't get me wrong, but it was just not. I don't want to compare to nobody today, but she was always that chick. Just put it like that. But this dude who was doing it, he's seen it even more so back then than even I. Because now I wasn't looking at it in them terms back then, even though I knew she was great and she was something special and she just resonated with a nigga heart. But, even back then, the nigga said Madonna wouldn't be on no motherfucking crop duster. Then he named, some Hispanic lady, who he said, I can't remember. Then he was like, I think he said, Princess Diana wouldn't have been on no fucking crop duster. And he said, that's our equivalent to Princess Diana. And I said, you fucking right. Because even though I didn't see it that deep back then, looking at her now, I'm like, he's fucking right. This nigga is yeah, we know as Aaliyah and Baby Girls, but this nigga is special. Something more special than we know, than we tend to think of her within this realm of just music and shit. Now I see this shit. I can see the Sabrina the Teenage Witch in her. When I look now, the good witch. We're not talking about the witch in a bad way. I can see that magical shit in her right now. I'm spitting shit. I know I'm fired up. I can see the shit now. That my third eye is pulsating on. Which is why I make contact with her right now. I'm gonna show you. You think nigga just talking this shit? I know y'all probably be, oh man, you don't know what he's talking. Oh no, we gonna get into it. So when when the when the guy said that, I said, man, he got a point, bro. And I'm like, well, how the hell did she get over there with all the bags? Man. Anyway, bro. All right, so we'll go there. All right. Trying to make sure I ain't forgetting that, but oh yeah, go back to the music shit. But yeah, I just said it already. So anyway, but yeah, man, like I said it one more time. Shit becomes evil when, so like, take this for example. I told you this, the black ham, right? These shoot up, 7 shoot up, light comes to the side, 4 corner of the world. This would be the good pig, or the good version of the Haughton. Never eat pig, but the hog Tion, the ham or the black, just I don't even like saying it in regards to her, because she's not, there's nothing of the sort of a pig. But we just doing this for educational purposes within the creation of the earth. But the hog, the T, and the light, which is the on. That's why when you flick the light switch up to on, light comes on or appears because the on. But when all this goes up into here, and all the light from on the surface shoots out the sides, this is a barren cold waste with the moon sitting on top of it. The moon is an ice brick, a slab of ice. You can't. It's ice. You can step on the shit if you used to land on the shit. But ain't nobody never landed on the fucking moon because you can't go there physically. So now when we talk about people without souls, right? Vampires, or whatever you want to call them. We don't even call them all vampires because every white person, or niggas too, because some of these niggas ain't, I'm dead convinced some of these niggas might as well not, because it's just like we say with me, if you only the one, for him, which nobody had to tell me I was the one. I didn't have to go see the Oracle. I knew on my own. I am the Oracle. All that shit is in me. So I'm not saying, but you can see what I'm saying. I ain't have to go. That's the part of the movie. That's just movie. That's cinematic. But I bring to the Matrix the real, which is a contradiction. But the real version of it, which is me. I didn't have to. That part with him having to figure out was he the one and go ask the Oracle. I figured out I was the one on my own. It might be other information people can tell me, and oracles just, well, I just told you, psychic readers or whatever, women or whatever. That's what the witch is. But this used to be all common shit. Now it's like taboo, but this shit used to be common. Now you tell them, she's a witch. Oh, get away from me. It's like, shit is all upside down now. That's why it's easy to hate this fucking society. I ain't gonna say hate the world, because the world itself is a beautiful place. How I know? Created the motherfucker. With help, but I'm the goddamn done dollar of doing it. So fuck the dumb shit. And the other niggas claiming that I put through screwing there. Yeah. Shout out to my nigga Screw Soup out here. But so many words you saying, like I say, with these animals and shit, don't actually look at the animal as fucked up. Like I say, even the black cat. If the black cat is bad luck, then why the fuck would you be fucking with it? It's not necessarily, but you can see what the blackness. But you get what I'm saying. So it's not saying because cats, period, black, white, just having them around It's magical shit. They have a certain energy about themselves. It's like a cat can walk up on you and rub up the side of your leg and clean your auric field and shit like that. That's the type of shit they're trying to keep you away from. Especially a black cat, because the cat is black, it's absorbent. So if it rub up against you, it could very well be healing you or absorbing some bullshit out of you and have the power to transmute that into some other shit. That's just the way life is. Like, how this shit works. But to go back to what the shit was saying. What really becomes a problem is when all that, see, it's like this now. Like this. So when that part right there disconnects, is what your wicked shit come from. The id is the light right there. The wick of the candle, the wick. So you see what I'm saying? So when this cuts off and goes all the way up in here, it's still a little spark of light left behind. When then this goes up in here, that last light, shoot that lightning bolt out, boom. That's the other thing the worm refers to in the Matrix. That little spark that was still left in there. When the lightning strike it, the lightning is considered, it's called wormwood. The lightning zigzags and is slim, like a worm, strikes that, boom. And then that sliver of light, like a worm, shoots up in the hill, boom, and combines with them, and then they all come down and slay the pig. This is the pig. When all that light goes this way, then all that light gets retracts and shoots out the side. It's like it busts out the belly like somebody eating till their belly bursts or some shit. So when that lightning strike, boom, and that last little sliver of light shoots up here. All this shit happens within the twinkling of an eye, but just with slow motion. So when all the light is up here, that's when they say Jesus, when they went back to the tomb of Jesus and he wasn't there, that's what they're talking about. That went up, the lightning struck, the last bit of light that was in there goes up, and then this is them going back. When the sun falls down, that's them going back to find that Jesus wasn't in his tomb and shit. But when all that light is up here and there's nothing there, all this here is dead, or that's soot, that's drought, no water, water's froze, and all the surface is carved out, waiting to be shaped. The process is waiting to be finished, or whatever. But so people without a soul, whether they white or black, because like I said, some of these niggas, I don't understand. You got niggas, white people out here on better behavior than niggas. That'll treat you better than niggas will. So understand the spiritual and biological difference between you and white people, but don't bank too much on that shit when it comes to. But consider that too, because that's a factor too as far as the morality. But yeah, just keep that in mind. We just put it like that. Deal how you will deal with it. But that's what soulless people, when they say, if you don't know you the one, you ain't the one. So maybe that's where you probably have a soul with shit. If you ain't activating the motherfucker, you gonna operate like a motherfucker without one. So you gonna be just as cold-hearted and vicious as a motherfucker who don't have it. And you got some motherfuckers who are not cold, who are bubbly as fuck. White as mayonnaise, but bubbly as fuck. I've seen it with my own eyes. And you got some black people that's nasty as can be. So, yeah, I'm at a loss for words when it comes to that shit. I just deal with everybody. I go back to Martin Luther King when they nigga ass. Judge a man not by the color of his skin, but the content of his character. I take it back to that on them niggas ass. Shout out to Martin. He ain't on that segregation shit. Now I understand niggas like, we had our own this and our own that, but look. You know how stupid you look. Because when a nigga say, well, see, when you say, we should have stayed segregated. No, you should just say we should have just took shit over and ran shit over and got our shit back. Because segregating nation, that scary nigga talk to me too. Well, we'll just have ours over here. That's gangster shit waiting to happen. Some motherfuckers over here don't like each other. And some motherfuckers over here don't like each other. Or let's just say, let's just say white people over here, black people. This the land, and we segregated. Okay, we got ours, you got yours. Now everybody over here don't hate everybody over here, and vice versa. But there's gonna be some type of fucking anxiety there. You're gonna be always wondering what the fuck are they doing over there. They gonna always be wondering what the fuck you doing over here. And 9 times out of 10, they're a little bit more prone to fitting us. So that's where you get your shit like Black Wall Street getting bombed and all that shit. So who gives a fuck whether or not that's dumb. I know it's dumb shit, but that's who the fuck want to live like that? That wouldn't. I know that's an unpopular opinion within the conscious community, but I'm me. I ain't even that shit. All I see is me. You know, ain't dissing nobody, but fuck that shit. There be a lot of them niggas talking nonsense too, so I don't even that fucking jargon. A bunch of jargon. And I love the conscious community, but there's some ain't going there. But anyway, yeah, so just count me as me. Even with that dumb shit, we should have stayed separated. You're not getting what's going on here. That make it easier for to kick your ass. They got them all in one place. We ain't got to worry about fucking hours up in there. They all right there. Okay, you'll drop the bomb. See how that work? So when you around these motherfuckers, then they can't. It's hard to pull. It's hard for those that don't like you to pull the wool over those who. And it's not a matter of making them like you or wondering if they like you or not. But the motherfuckers that could potentially help you, it's easier to pull the wool over their eyes and lie to them about you so they won't even think about that if they're all over here. But if you all here, then you get the bump and shoulder with motherfucker. Like, oh, my daddy was lying. He said y'all was this, that, and this, but y'all are. See how that shit work? That's just my take on it. You niggas need to wake up. And it really don't matter because we passed that, but I'm just giving my take on that shit. But that nigga was right about that content of the character shit. I gotta say, man. And I'll tell you straight up, you know, I do have a certain, not to the point where the fuck me up when I'm going out to the world and I'm looking at every white person like they're gonna do some shit like that, but I do have a. But it's, for one, that's why I say it's good tapping into this shit, because I understand where that shit come from now. Not just based off of our history, my lack of trust for white people. And not just everyday white, but period, I mean, to a certain, like, it's not like I'm going out and around, get away from me, you're white. I don't know, I treat everybody the same until they show me a reason not to. But I'm saying on a deeper level, on a psychological level, it is a distrust there because you have to look at the history. So, you know what I'm saying. But to take it to a more personal level, my granny, my grandma Annie, she was raped by a white man. And that's the reason why, although growing up, before I never been with a white woman or it never came, not saying I wouldn't have hit one growing up. Even to this day, today I'm more, the vampire shit, it's each his own, but I tread light. I don't say tread light, I be kind of paranoid. That comes, not paranoid, but even that, that shit comes from our DNA. Watching, knowing about niggas who got hung, Emmett Till, and all these people that got killed over just looking at white women and shit. All this shit still be in our DNA. It don't activate for everybody, but for me, for whatever reason, I never said that I wouldn't. When I was, now I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's not my bag. Maybe that's not for me. And I can't totally knock it because you have W.D. Ford, who is actually responsible for, he's a half breed. His mother was white, father was black. he ducked the crowd. He was supposed to come over. So I'm saying, he was supposed to come over here. The way he got to America, if I remember the story correct, the way he got to America is he was supposed to come over here and teach white people. He was supposed to come from India, if I'm not mistaken. But when he came over here, that's the whole thing too. But when he came over here, he skipped out on them and got with Elijah Muhammad and brought the information to niggas or whatever. But he was the product of a black and white amalgamation or whatever. Just as well as some people I know now who are half-breed, but they still gods and goddesses because that's why the white boy you gotta listen to when he say the one drop of black blood makes you black now. That's real shit. Because of that black blood forms a healthy pineal gland. That pineal gland can draw the soul down into it. So that's why women glow when they're pregnant, because that's the shine or whatever. But I think the reason why white girls would never able to, that never just happened like that was my grandma working. Because she ain't with that shit. The black and white thing, but that's based off of her being raped by a white man. So that shit is still in my DNA. So when I'm walking through life, growing up, I don't fuck a white woman, nah. And to this day, I'll still chase this stuff fine motherfucker. She might be right, but boy, that was my thing. Because motherfuckers will be fine though. So and I don't want to shit on the brothers and sisters who do have a black mother and a white parent or whatever, because that don't necessarily put you out the game. And by that not putting you out the game, that means you still are considered considered family. And just like I wouldn't, I'm not gonna talk shit about my cousin mama just because she white. And I do have cousins with white mamas and shit, so shit like that. But I was never necessarily against it. But I always told myself I would never marry a white woman. And that was because you just never know. I look at that shit like, the way I look at it, this is before consciousness or knowledge stuff and all that shit, but the way I looked at it was, you might be cool as the white girl, but let me just go back to what I'm telling y'all about the trust shit. The parents, I don't know what they into. We seen Get Out. We got movie references now, so Get Out. There's one movie that's the type of shit I always, before that movie came out, that's how my mind already like, yeah, did I fuck around and go to your family reunion and they might try to hang a nigga up. It ain't my fault, that's karma. That's what you call karma. That is an effect. Because karma is nothing but cause and effect. Karma is not, you slap this nigga today and 3 days later nigga punch you down the road because totally isolated incidents. Another person will say, that's your karma. And they're like, no. Karma is straight up cause and effect. So you get punched in the jaw down the line for slapping somebody 2 days ago, but he's punching you because of that, and that's karma. But that's not karma if that's not the case. Karma is straight up cause and effect. So in this case, the cause would be the relationship that we've had with white folks throughout time, which the effect would be me having a trust issue when it comes to dealing with them in too intimately or whatever. So yeah, white girls, you gotta blame you. I know y'all be digging the kid, but you gotta blame your ancestors for that one. Put it on charge to their card. Cause you motherfuckers do be fine. Now, I'm a realist, so I'm not gonna lie. I follow up on Instagram and everything, like the pictures and shit. Cause I love women. Period. You know what I'm saying? But I look for my black women. You know, some things like that. But women. Period. I'm a gallant, so to speak. GALLANC. A gallant. So yeah, man. And the only thing I be feeling away from like, man, that bitch, why would I just something lie? Like I say, it ain't even a thing of me going. It just never. Now, if I would, it never happened like that. Even within school, it was like, I went to a pretty much well mixed school. You had everything: Asians, whites, Indians, blacks, everything, whatever. I think I shot my shot at. Have I ever shot my shot at a white girl before? I know it was that one time at work, man. But as far as school, I remember the Asian, she was digging me, but I knew she was digging me, but I know why I couldn't get her. Because she kept flirting with it, would never give me the number. But I know what it is. Her parents, you know how that is. Her mind, she thinking for all the headed gang, like, I can't bring this. It's a nigga. I can't bring him. But she's a nigga too, but probably didn't know at the time. She was Asian, but she was like a little, I don't say as dark as me, but she had that little brown tint to her. But, that brown tint, I can't remember her name, but she was wild. She had to be the one to pass the papers out. That was like the 11th grade or something. Every time she came to my desk, she would put the paper down and real slow and give me that seductive look. Like, oh yeah. But that man, she just never came around like that. I don't know. I just never really was on it like that. But like I said, I do remember that one time we was at the Jack in the Box and we hopped out the car and the girl was like, white girlfriend out of Jack in the Box, oh, Tupac. Just rushed me like, oh, it's Tupac. I was like, damn. Yeah. But yeah, man, to each his own though, bro. This ain't no just be careful, man. Be careful. Yeah. But where I going with that? But yeah, that shit is in my DNA for my grandma. I was chopping up with her, my grandma Annie, my great grandma Annie, over Halloween or whatever. That's when that had came through. I said, okay. She's like, yeah. So that's like because we done been through too much. So yeah, man. So yeah. Like I said, I ain't gonna say no names when it comes to the swirl thing, but like I said, I'll just say it's people that I have a certain level of esteem for. That I keep in consideration when I speak on these type of things. Because this is not what that is about. It's not. I'm not in the business of shaming people based off of color and all that. Whatever the case may be. Even when I have to come and say shit like white people don't have souls, it's like it's not like I take joy in that. Or whatever, or I'm saying it in a celebratory. It's actually a sad thing. But it is what it is. But I'm just trying to explain honestly as I can, despite how popular or unpopular what I'm saying may be with some people or whatever. So, you know, but yeah, man, so um, so either the Haughton of a Hawk part of her name, but she's both. Don't get it twisted, because to be with just straight darkness, that's when we're really dealing with the evil. We call it triple stages of darkness, or whatever. Triple stages of darkness. That's when you lost without the light. Those are the social path of the world, so to speak. People who really don't care about nothing outside of how much pleasure or how much comfort it brings to them. That is definitely not who we're talking about when we're dealing with baby girl. But we're talking about an energy as opposed to outside of social morality. When we say a dark goddess, so we're not talking about some dark-hearted person. You can tell she ain't that. She was no greedy person. She just look at her body here. Greedy people don't stay that slim forever. Shit, she was greedy within her. Just like her body shows that her appetite wasn't even of a greedy type. They ain't understanding it wrong about big people either, because that's big people are. I can show you the spiritual thing with that too, but you know what I'm saying. So when they talk about slaying the boar, all that goes up, you killing the drought, the lack, the negation, which is represented by that pig. So when you come down and when they talk about stabbing a vampire in the heart, that's the stake. It's just when this come back down, wow, they shoot that up. That's driving the stake through the vampire or the Dracos or whatever, only to send it up into his orbit for it to come back into life with everything on top of it. People, birds, trees, water, lakes, rivers, and all that shit. But that's what that represents. The sparkless. Let me read it again. And we'll close it out with this one. Then we'll come back. But one of the most universal of the folk tales, which are the debris of mythology, is that of the giant who had no heart or spark of soul in his body. The ape-pap dragon in Africa was the first of all the giants who has no heart in his body, no root in reality, being as he is only the representation of non-existence, drought, darkness, death, and negation. To have no heart in the body is an Egyptian expression for a lack of understanding and want of nous. Nous, I gotta look that up. But as it is, matter of fact, I'm gonna start there with y'all when I come back. Make sure I put that in there. But to have no heart in the body is an Egyptian expression for lack of understanding and want of nous. You see some people around, they ain't trying to understand. Y'all done seen, I've been doing the right thing, doing it with a good purpose. And trying to, motherfucker be like, no, and I'm trying to explain to them, no, look, this is what, this motherfucker ain't even trying to hear. Just shaking their head. Ain't even trying to hear what the fuck I'm saying. That's the motherfuckers who don't have, or motherfuckers that talk to them when you trying to explain something to them, they say, don't be quiet and listen. That's what this shit is talking about right here, them type of people. As it is said in the Anastasia Papyri, of the slave who is driven with a stick and beaten like the ass. He has indeed no heart in his body. It was his lack of intelligence that made the giant of the Martian such a big blundering booby. Readily outwitted by clever little Jack, Horace, or Petit George, the youthful solar guard, and so easily cajoled by the fair princess of Lunar Lady who is held captive in his dungeon underground. And one of the Tartaro legends told in the Basque, the hero fights a body without a soul. When the monster is coming, it is said of him, He is about to come. The horrible body without a soul. Yeah. So yeah, man, I let y'all ponder on that till I get back, man. So y'all niggas hold it down, man. Peace.